We all know that DoD and critical infrastructure are critical. I don't think people appreciate how critical they are. There's also how much they're being looked at by nation states. Businesses tend to look at cybersecurity within a broader risk management framework, and therefore it tends to be one of many things that they look at. And businesses tend to prioritize IT budgets, which cyber is generally part of an IT budget, towards market positioning. And that puts cybersecurity at a disadvantage in terms of its budget for companies, which is a bad thing. That said, I always took the position that every function and every strategy requires IT in the business. Nothing gets done without IT. It doesn't matter these days. Everything needs a digital infrastructure and application and infrastructure. And therefore, cybersecurity is critical to doing your strategic business. Nation states, and I know from the business that we've been in, but also from looking at incidents over 50 years within ManTech, nation states have spent decades mapping and learning and accessing or trying to access companies in our space. They have scale and they have more knowledge than you may think about you or the environment you're in and what you do. Most companies have legacy debt, which is a huge risk. And most companies historically have likely emailed a whole bunch of data that has accessibility, if it's not encrypted, that gives people more access to what your environment is or what you do or who you do it with. You have to assume that adds more knowledge to them than you might imagine. It's safe to assume that no matter what size you are, you're on somebody's radar as a nation state if you do anything important these days. Now, knowing this as CEO, I spent over a decade working towards improving the security of ManTech, and I had to start with the IT budget. And we eventually got there towards a zero trust architecture. We had to start with eliminating technical debt, which was really big. That's bringing down the debt. Then we had to narrow the networks that we had to support. Then we had to bring up the cybersecurity, and these are all in an annual budget cycle and review, and then bring all the applications and systems we had into a more secured environment, and then move towards the zero trust, which in and of itself was very difficult. So I would say the technical debt, the networks, the access and cybersecurity, as well as the data and applications are all important. I had to manage the IT budget annually as if I owned it. I didn't. That way you prioritize cyber along with other things that are important, and you bring cyber to an equal level, cybersecurity, to other applications over a 10-year period. That helps prioritize things. And when you move towards zero trust, you actually find during this whole process a whole lot more issues than you thought because the legacy data that's out there. And you have to start reducing that boneyard. It's really important. Any environment, just as an aside, any environment that you defer, delay, or prioritize upgrades and patches kills you. If you can't stay up current on patches or upgrades, you're going to be behind day one. To that end, what I learned is utilizing infrastructure as a service, cloud services, where they're doing the upgrades for you, or cyber as a service, using certain cyber firms who can do that on your behalf, became hugely valuable because you can only cover so much footprint within your own company, given the types of things that you're doing. So utilizing that and moving towards a zero trust architecture really helped because what I call going dark, which is what zero trust is, really matters.